we can learn to change our brains. We can change our minds by the way we act. And that action is both mental internally and physically external. The internal, of course, is what we experience. The external is what others experience with us.
Welcome to the Business of Parenting podcast. Tune in as we discuss the principles of successful parenting as a business professional. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
I think a lot of the times when we do fail, all right, or others around us fail at what they were supposed to do or the activity they were supposed to execute on, all right, I'm not quick to do this. So, I think it's one thing to offer forgiveness and grace. It's another thing to do it quickly. And
amen.
This is definitely a place that I know for myself, I need to get better at. But I'm self-aware to know the reason I'm not overly fast at this, because I'm not overly fast at doing it for myself. Meaning that if I fail, I will kind of hold on to it. And I don't know why. I'm sure there's some reason. But I want to kind of almost take ownership. I'm not quick to forgive myself and give myself grace so that I can continue to move forward. But that's a tough one, man. I struggle with that one. And I'd love to kind of get your thoughts on how we execute that.
Perfect context, Jason. The ability to forgive oneself manifests itself in how well will I forgive others, and to your point, how quickly will I do it? I know that perspective well. I know that I punish myself for the failures that I can see because I can see them so clearly. We don't always see them in ourselves. Mm-hmm. Becoming self-aware of that compounds and translates into how do we treat others? We will always, I used the idea earlier, we'll always hurt the ones we love the most. Well, learning to love ourselves is such a powerful trait, because when we learn to do that, we actually give ourselves permissions to love others enough that when they fail, that the manifestation doesn't result in anger. Because anger is an expression of a frustration of unmet expectations. And again, this sounds all, psychobabble and those kind of things. Just the way we're wired.
Of
it's
course.
The way our brains are made. The chemical reactions that take place of the dopamine and serotonin and all those things that influence when we have a positive experience. And more importantly, when we have a negative experience, either we mentioned in the prelude or now we'll mention it, the idea of changing our brains. We can learn to change our brains. We can change our minds by the way we act. And that action is both mental internally and physically external. The internal, of course, is what we experience. The external is what others experience with us. And so the ability, and it is a practice, it's an intentional practice. Forgive yourself, love yourself. That will allow you to forgive others and love others completely.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business of Parenting podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to check out the full podcast library at strategywithjason.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.